Ladies and gentlemen, the coward regime of President William Ruto is at it again. This time round, not plotting on how to bring down Rigathi Gachagua, not plotting on how to buy out Kalonzo Musyoka from the united opposition. But this time round, they have figured out that this other candidate cannot also be compromised as they thought he would. As they were unable to buy one Kalonzo Musyoka into the government, they have been unable to buy George Natembeya, the Trans-Nzoia governor, into their side. And now they have resulted into tactics of intimidation and tactics of pushing Natembeya's reputation down the drain to force George Natembeya to side with the government. Knowing the rising influence of the kingpin of the Luhya nation, they are afraid of what Natembeya might pull in the 2027 general election. The Trans-Nzoia Governor George Natembeya has of today broken his silence of a closed-door meeting held at the Oasis Hotel in Karen, Nairobi on Tuesday, November 11, 2025. Led by the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and Bungoma Governor Kenneth Lusaka. The body language at the hotel spoke louder than any statement issued afterward. Kenya Kwanza MCAs, especially the Luhya bloc allied to Fort Kenya, seemed uneasy and avoided the glare of the cameras. Some were clearly uncomfortable trying to slip away quietly before being noticed. Those aligned with the wheelbarrow function appeared more composed, as if everything had already been scripted. The nominated members kept their cards close, determined to safeguard their political hunger. Natembeya observed that the sudden flurry of meetings was linked to the president's upcoming visit to Trans-Nzoia. He suggested that some leaders feared facing the people, aware that the ground reality is firmly one term. To manage the situation, they resolved that Speaker Wetangula and Governor Lusaka would visit the county ahead of the president to actually familiarize with the ground and make the ground ready for President William Ruto. The move was meant to prepare the ground and gauge the political mood. But to Natembeya, the whole arrangement smelled of panic and hidden motives. He questioned why Trans-Nzoia affairs were being plotted in a Nairobi hotel instead of within the county. Observers noted that smiles at the meeting masked deep divisions and mistrust. Despite the calm front, the tension was unmistakable and telling. Natembeya concluded firmly that Trans-Nzoia cannot be planned from Nairobi. Now going forward, allow me to analyze the situation as it is. Governor George Natembeya was a man that William Ruto thought he could compromise. Was a man that William Ruto thought the money could buy him out. But William Ruto was treated to a surprise after billions that he tried to bribe Natembeya with were turned down. And Kipchumba Murkomen, the person that was sent to buy out Natembeya and to force Natembeya to support the government, was chased by Natembeya and told that the people shall decide. And it seems the people have decided that the government of President William Ruto is not a government that they want to work with. And so, that is when Natembeya, together with Eugene Wamalwa, came together and resolved their dispute within the DAPK party. Natembeya being the deputy party leader and Eugene Wamalwa being the party leader, they resulted to actually come together and work towards one goal that the people of the Western Bloc want and the people of the Mulembe Nation want. The people want something that will benefit them. The people want the government that will work towards their benefit. And that government is not the government of President William Ruto. And that is why they resorted to solving their issues and joined the united opposition. I told you of a meeting that was held at SKM Command Center in Karen at Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's Command Center. That meeting resulted to a power sharing deal. The power sharing deal resulted to Natembeya being named as the possible running mate of Kalonzo Musyoka ahead of the 2027 general election, and Kalonzo Musyoka to take up the mantle as the flag bearer of the presidential candidate. Now that is something that has scared the people aligned to President William Ruto to actually result into techniques of trying to taint the name of George Natembeya. Because George Natembeya's rise and influence within the Mulembe nation is one for the books, is one that you cannot compromise right now or you cannot deny. Remember, Mulembe is the second largest voting bloc in Kenya, making their decision on who they are supposed to vote in the 2027 general election a determinant of who actually wins the day. And because Natembeya has refused every advances made towards him by the government, now the government has gone back to crafting and coming up with new ideologies on how to deal with the Trans-Nzoia governor. One move that is at the table right now is the plan of coming up with an impeachment plot against Natembeya. We are told that most of the cabinet of the members of county assembly, the MCAs that yesterday attended the meeting in Karen at Oasis Hotel, were from the Trans-Nzoia county, and they have one job at hand: to move at a high speed to actually taint the name of George Natembeya and to come up with fabricated falsehoods that will actually bring to account let me say a case that can actually be tabled before the county assembly of Trans-Nzoia to begin the process of impeaching George Natembeya. But these people are very scared. The reason they are scared is not because of Natembeya. They are scared of what the people of Trans-Nzoia county might do to them. They are scared of what the people of Trans-Nzoia county might pull on them if they go ahead with the plots against George Natembeya. They were to impeach George Natembeya at the beginning of this year. And that is when you saw some fabricated cases brought up against George. But they were beaten at the said fabrication, where they took the EACC, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission officers, to arrest George Natembeya for claims that he was involved in corruption scandals or in misappropriation of county funds. But at the end of the day, the people did not buy out that nonsense. The people defended George Natembeya. The people stood with George Natembeya. And now, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, these are dying political careers within the Mulembe nation. They're trying to find relevance. They're trying to convince President William Ruto that they still got it, so that William Ruto can see them in the 2027 general elections power sharing deal between them and the UDA. But truth be told, can they actually pull one to taint the name of George Natembeya? The reason I am saying this is because these leaders, Musalia Mudavadi, Akina Wetangula, they are forgetting one thing: that the people right now are so enlightened of what is actually happening within their political space. And that is why any nonsense, any smear campaign has turned out not to work. So it's upon time these people actually goes to retirement. Because Natembeya was crowned by the elders of the Luhya community. He was crowned as the next kingpin, beating Musalia Mudavadi, beating Moses Wetangula, making him the de facto spokesperson of the Mulembe nation. So now, President is going to visit Trans-Nzoia. He thinks he can actually sweet talk his way to the heart of the people of Trans-Nzoia. But that, Natembeya beat him to it. For now, that's what's up. Let me hear your comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.